Om Ajnana-timirandasya Jnananjana-shalakaya Chakshurumritam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namah. Shri Chaitanya Manobhistam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Tadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Utapadakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijan Saitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Tena Bandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namastute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Shivanu Sutta Devi Panamami Hari Priya Vanchakalpatarupascha Kripa Sindhu Pevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namo Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Hare Krishna, thank you all for coming. Couple of quick announcements. So, thanks to Sumnima, as well as thanks to Dayamai Radha and Surbi from the Toronto temples, we are now in the process of setting up a YouTube channel for all our classes. And the problem that many of us have faced of not being able to listen to past class recordings because of the glitch, that gets somewhat resolved, that now I will send you YouTube link to past class recordings so you can listen to anytime and even on your phone. Some of devotees have already tried this for the previous link, previous class that I had sent. So thank you again to Sumnima, to Dayamai Radha, and to Surbi Matajis for helping this out. So it's still work in progress. It takes a lot of effort to upload documents onto YouTube. So as we progress little by little, we'll have everything on YouTube one after the other. Now, if somebody still wants the physical the physical recording, just in case if you like to listen to on a computer or some other device, by all means, you can get the recording from me also or from Sumnima. Hopefully, she will be able to download. Either way, you have now multiple options to be able to look at the past recordings that previously had the challenge of, because of the glitch, not being able to play on the phone. The other is that on February 28th, it's a Saturday, there's a big preaching event and kirtan planned here in Toronto for some 700 some participants, where most likely I'll be giving a class, and there's definitely going to be kirtan, some preaching, book distribution opportunity as well. So there's no pressure, but if you are able to donate for the event, you are welcome to donate. I will share link for that as it becomes available. And those who are locally in Toronto and around area can try to come. It's at Markham and Shepherd intersection in Scarborough. Would be from afternoon, evening time. I will share more details as they become available. Plan accordingly for February 28th, Saturday. All right, so today I will continue to answer inquiries leftover inquiries from Canto 1, chapters 8 and 9. I won't answer all of them. There will still be some leftover. I will soon get caught up on the past recordings. Okay, let me bring up on screen. Shreyanshi.
Prabhuji, I would like to ask one question. So, I started being in Krishna consciousness a few months ago. So before 2 years, I took a decision. Like I was given something and I went against it and I took a decision. So according to you and the scriptures, uh, did I do right? Like when Krishna gives something and we do not take that decision, like we say no to something that was being offered because we want to outgrow that or we want to go in a different path. So what would you recommend? Because then I wasn't in Krishna consciousness, but obviously it was Krishna only assigning me, but now I've come into Krishna consciousness. So now things are different because now I have become aware. So what are the two difference that you see, and did I do right or wrong?
So, right or wrong in terms of something that you did not do in the past?
Like I basically didn't take up an opportunity that I could have taken because I didn't align with that.
You mean the
Uh,
spiritual opportunity?
no, material opportunity.
Yeah. So materiality does not matter. We will get so many options during our lifetime. But you are now at the right place, that you are now in Krishna consciousness. That's what matters. Material things, they will come and go. We don't have to worry too much about materiality. They will come and go. And it's not just one time. They will keep coming and going throughout our life. They are all temporary. Krishna consciousness, you are at the right place. Now you made the right choice and just continue on that. Shivanji.
But Prabhuji, does that make a difference when we come into Krishna consciousness? Does Krishna, um, I mean, is 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 there a difference? Because then also Krishna was assigning, now also Krishna is assigning, but the only difference is that now I'm aware of it, and before I didn't know anything.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. The things will keep popping up in front of us based on our past karma. And these are meant to mm, make us practice whether I am choosing Krishna or not, whether I am following Anukulya se Sankalpa, Patikulya se Varjitam. That Anukulya se Varjitam mean, Anukulya se Sankalpa mean that whatever is favorable for Krishna, I will accept. And Patikulya se Varjitam means whatever is not favorable for Krishna, not favorable for my bhakti, I will reject. So these options will continue to come, not just one time that has happened in the past. Every time we have to make a decision. Is this favorable for Krishna? Okay, I will do it. Ranjit.
Okay, Prabhuji, just one last thing is just that I feel like when we, whatever is given to us, when we say no, then that means, and we want something better, then we are going against the, I mean, I'm not saying that we are going against Krishna, but we are going against the our karma or our nature, and then things are like in chaos, which I don't want. I want things to be in transcendence. So, do you recommend like whatever from now onwards I'm being given, I should just accept as Krishna Prasad and just do it rather than think anything?
So you don't have to blindly accept anything and everything. You have to follow Anukulya se Sankalpa, Patikulya se Varjitam. That is this favorable for Krishna or not? Understand that Maya is going to trick you to take you away from Krishna. Right? So therefore you have to be vigilant that is this Maya's test or is this favorable for Krishna? So always vigilant and be be vigilant and always accept what is favorable for Krishna, not blindly just because you're in Krishna consciousness. No, you have to v- v- validate every action according to scriptures.
Okay, Prabhuji, thank you so much.
All right. Question number 1. How do we become dependent on Krishna and still maintain a strong individuality as an independent soul? So Bhagavad Gita 2.12 states, soul is eternal and eternally individual. And further, Bhagavad Gita chapter 15 verses 16 to 18, known as Trishloki Gita, Krishna explains that Krishna is separate from the conditioned souls and even separate from the liberated souls. Therefore, he is Purushottama. So soul always maintains individuality. Whether soul is conditioned or liberated, soul is never independent. Right? So both points you have to understand that individuality is always there, as well as soul is always dependent on Krishna. Both factors you have to understand. Does that answer the inquiry?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Thank you. Question 2. How can one stop our emotions from taking over our day-to-day lives and pulling us away from Supreme Lord? So we have discussed in Bhagavad Gita chapter 14 that the mode of goodness helps you not get caught up in the rush of the material world. Bhagavad Gita tells us to observe ourselves internally. And such observing ourselves internally is possible in the mode of goodness. Therefore, from the Bhagavad Gita chapter 14, 17, and 18 charts, try to be in the mode of goodness as much as is possible. There are listing of various activities in all these three charts. And further, we have also discussed in Bhagavad Gita chapter 14 that doing devotional services enables us to strengthen our free will to push back on the modes. So modes are always going to test you. You cannot avoid the modes. We are 24 hours controlled by the modes. So you cannot say, I don't want to be controlled by the modes. That does not exist. You just have to recognize that this could be Maya's test. So I have to continuously choose the mode of goodness at least. And of course, choose the mode of transcendence also as much as is possible. Does that answer the inquiry?
Yes, Prabhuji, thank you. Though that was not my question, but it helps a lot. Thanks.
Yeah, so questions may be asked by one devotee, but I'm pretty sure many of the questions, or probably all of the questions, are definitely helpful to every one of you. So even though you might have not asked, if it relates to you or strikes you, then you can always respond. Thank you. Question number 3. Srimad Bhagavatam 1.8.41 purport says, the Lord is addressed as the Lord of universe or the Lord of universal mind, indicating his all-powerful ability to cut the hard knot of family affection. Can you explain this line broadly? So you all don't have the visual, therefore listen closely as you always do. We will discuss this in Canto 3 and Canto 2 and Canto 3, the creation discussion. So using just the mind as an example to illustrate, and this applies to other points as well. The combined mind of all jiva is infused in the Mahat Tattva. Mahat Tattva is the manifested material world. And understand this with a firefighter example. That when a call comes in a fire fighting department office, that there is a fire or emergency and the firefighter and the fire trucks needs to roll out, the firefighters will get ready by grabbing their helmet, their suit, their gloves, etc. The firefighting equipments from the respective bins or respective areas, meaning all helmets for all the firefighters will be in one bin or in one area. All gloves will be in one bin or in one area from where the firefighters are grabbing their respective helmet, gloves, etc. Similarly, the combined mind of all jivas is infused into material nature by Vishnu's glance. And when the jiva is ready to take birth, he is awarded a portion of the mind from the combined mind. And this analogy and the explanation applies to various components. I'm only explaining for one component of the mind. The same applies for intelligence also. And many, I'm only explaining one to understand the point that the Lord of the universal mind. Does that answer the question?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Can you explain a little bit more about ability to cut the hard knot of the family affection?
Yeah, so Lord can cut. He's all powerful. If we are too attached to family, then he will do something as his mercy to get us detached, because that attachment is the hindrance. So he is all powerful. And that's a fact. He can do anything and everything. Somnima?
Yes, Prabhuji. So sometimes it could be out of karma, sometimes it could be because it's causing hindrance in our bhakti, right?
Yeah, mostly it's the hindrance that we get too attached to family and that we cannot be more focused or as focused on devotional services. Therefore, the Lord will do something to cut that hard knot of family affection.
Yes, thank you, Prabhuji.
Shivaji?
Prabhuji, I would just like to follow up, like even though Lord detaches or does the hard knot, but still a soul always will feel to have a mother and a father. Like if your family is causing hindrance, but you will go somewhere and you will still find somebody who can give that motherly affection or fatherly affection. So I feel that that need is always there.
Yeah, so we are not robots. We are humans. We will have feelings always. Krishna is looking for our feelings also. Right, in 9.26, he says, one who offers me simple things like fruit, leaf, water with love and devotion, I will accept. So we don't have to artificially frisk away our emotions. No, we have to transfer our emotion. And in Canto 4, Dhruv Maharaj's mother, Suniti, tells to Dhruv Maharaj that go to the Lord. The affection of the Lord for his devotees is significantly more than combined affection of millions of mothers like me. Right? So we don't have to frisk away our emotion in the name of Krishna consciousness. No, we have to have feelings. We don't have to have attachments. We have to have affection for our family members. Affection means that if a family member is going on a wrong track, then if you have affection, then you will correct that person. Attachment is the perfect example is Dhritarashtra and Duryodhana, that Duryodhana is going on a wrong track, but Dhritarashtra is not able to correct him because of his attachment. Attachment makes the powerful powerless. Shriyanshi.
Yes, Prabhuji, what I meant is like finding mother in some other, like having a godmother,
Yeah,
finding it.
find motherly love in Krishna.
Okay, Prabhuji.
Right? Nothing wrong with finding motherly love in a devotee. That's also okay. So as I quoted from Dhruv Maharaj's life, that Dhruv Maharaj's mother Suniti gives us this instruction that Krishna's affection cannot be compared than million mothers' affection for their respective children. Shivji.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Question number 4. Why modern humans cannot see Krishna the way Kunti Maharani did in many calamities? Is it Kalyug or devotion level? Devotion is the criteria to see Krishna the way Arjuna and pure devotees see Krishna. Even today in Kalyug, pure devotees with devotion are able to see Krishna. So Krishna has also answered this in Bhagavad Gita chapter 11, the last few verses from 53, 54, 55. Krishna says that I cannot be known by study of Vedas, by austerity, by charity. And then he goes on to say that only by unalloyed devotional service I can be known as I am standing in front of you. Does that answer? Question number 5. Kunti Maharani was an unalloyed devotee. Well, she still is today also an unalloyed devotee. And therefore, Kunti Maharani could pray for more calamities and distress and also pray for severing her affection towards her family. As a neophyte, how to apply her prayers? Because I do get affected with material distress. I do get perturbed with lack of job security, for instance. And even though I rigorously put my faith in Krishna from deep within, I know there is a sense of fear or insecurity that remains. How do I keep steady and understand what is God's will versus what is my will? Very good. So calamities as mercy is for pure devotees, not for me. As material world is already built in with miseries, we use the miseries to remember Krishna, to remember Kunti Maharani prayers, to remember Dharma's teachings, so as to remember Krishna more and more. So Kunti Maharani asking for miseries does not mean to ask for miseries. Rather, whenever miseries happen, which are anyway going to happen, use the miseries to remember Krishna, remember Kunti Maharani's prayers, remember Dharma's teachings. Now, God's will is very difficult to understand. We focus on our will and our own desires to check whether we are following Anukulya se Sankalpa, that which is favorable for bhakti, I will do it, versus Pratikulya se Varjitam, that which is not favorable for bhakti, I will reject that activity. Per our discussion in Bhagavad Gita chapter 14 and Bhagavad Gita's instruction to observe ourselves internally, the more we are in the mode of goodness at the least, the more easier it is to observe ourselves internally. In passion, we get caught in the rush of the material world. Therefore, it is difficult to observe ourselves. So you can use the existing miseries of job, insecurity, etc. that are there in the question to pray to Krishna with deep feelings. You start using it. Why do you have to wait? Does that answer the inquiry or help? I wouldn't say answer, but help you. Shivanji?
Sorry, this was not my question, but I would like to ask a follow-up question. Um, the problem is that sometimes this situation makes us do karma that is not favorable, or even though it might be favorable in that point of time because of the varna, but still, Prabhuji, the problem is that when we are desperate or when we are in that lack situation, um, we are not able to give our 100%. So the karma that happens within that period is very difficult.
So there are 2 points. One is we don't have to do weak karma, even in difficult circumstances. And we have discussed that sometimes because of my past bad karma, the modes of material nature cause so much of a misery that it seems impossible to come out. And we have discussed the analogy that when a ship or a small boat gets caught in a storm, at the time of the storm, it's impossible for the boatman to do anything except to just survive the storm. And he getting thrown here or there and he is off track. Now, after the storm passes, the boatman does not continue to drive the boat in the wrong direction. No, he will try to bring the boat back on track. Similarly, we will also face some difficult situations during our lifetime. Well, it is because of our past karma, where we just cannot do anything. It will seem like this is impossible. So at those times, we try to survive whatever is possible. And once the storm passes, that's when we come back onto track on spirituality. If we don't come back on track after the storm has passed, well, that means we were never on the path of spirituality, or at least our faith was so shallow that we got shaken up. So during the times of the storm, seek more devotee association. Seek more of chanting so that you can get more guidance from spiritual master and from Krishna. Does that help?
Yes, Prabhuji. So what you mean is that after you come into Krishna consciousness, now that you are in the right track, start doing what is right and let Krishna take care of the past.
Correct.
Okay.
Right? Krishna says in 18.66, Mokshishyami ma sucha, that do not worry, I will relieve you of past, present, and future bad karma, good karma also. Right? I'm pretty sure all of us have done some bad karma in the past, even in this life. At least I have. But we are trying to do more and more devotional services as we get more and more knowledge. Sure, Ji. Everybody?
Okay, thank you, Prabhuji.
Question 6. How can one become akinchana gochara in this world practically? When we have worldly duties to fulfill, which requires to work for making ends meet. So we'll soon read, and we have also discussed this from Bhagavatam 1.13.46, that we ourselves are under the stringent grip of guna, karma, and kala. How can we give protection to others? It is Krishna alone taking care of everyone. Now, this does not mean we do not do our duty. No, we still have to do our duty of taking care of family. But we have to be detached. Then Krishna will not take away our opulences. It is when attachment to opulences, attachment to family at bodily level becomes hindrances on the path of spirituality, is when Krishna showers his mercy of taking away all these to remove the hindrances. So stay detached while doing all material world duties. Do material world duties only for purification, as is described in Bhagavad Gita 5.11. Now, although I am speaking the answer to this question, I am also in the same place of having attachment to body and to family. So it's a matter of practice. I am not saying to all of you that from tomorrow you become akinchana gochara, you become completely detached. No, that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying start practicing. That when you have these strong feelings of emotions towards family, remember Krishna, remember Kunti Maharani's prayers, where she's saying, sever my ties from the Pandavas and Vrishnis. So at least remember those prayers. I'm not asking you to change from tomorrow. If you can change, by all means change. But at least use the circumstance to remember Krishna and Kunti Maharani's prayers and Kunti Maharani's as a pure devotee. That remembrance is going to help you get purified. Does that help before we read the verse 1.13.46? All right, let's read 1.13.46 translation. Naresh Prabhu, you want to read from the screen?
Yeah, Hare Krishna. Translation. This gross material body, made of 5 elements, is already under the control of eternal time, kala, action, karma, and the mode of material nature, guna. How they can it, been already in the jaw of the serpent, protect others,
right? We are under the jaws of guna, karma, and kala. How can we give protection to others? Does that answer the inquiry? All right. So I will open another slide now for the next set of questions, and the sequence will again start from 1, because these were provided by you all after different classes of the past. So question number 1. Please explain Srimad Bhagavatam 1.9.19, where it's mentioned the exchange of bhavas between Krishna and his devotees, like trembling, weeping, bodily eruptions, etc. Please cite if there is any bhava which is blissful, like the Krishna and Mother Yashoda exchange that we can follow and which does not put the devotee in survival mode. Now, these are symptoms of bhava bhakti. These are ecstatic symptoms. They are described in Nectar of Devotion, that the characteristics of bhava bhakti symptoms is that you cannot fake these symptoms and you cannot hide these symptoms. Simultaneously, we have also discussed in Nectar of Devotion. I understand that some of you might have not yet completed Nectar of Devotion. In Nectar of Devotion, we have discussed that we should be in Dasya Rasa. And we should not try to be the parent of Krishna, because wanting to be parent of Krishna means we are wanting to be above Krishna. Krishna chooses his parents. So the inquiry says something blissful like the Krishna and Mother Yashoda's exchange. Yeah, you can relish those. That what level of devotion Mother Yashoda has. And Kunti Maharani also teaches us this. That in Canto 1, Chapter 8, Kunti Maharani says that Mother Yashoda's devotion is very high as compared to mine. That Mother Yashoda did not know that Krishna is Supreme Personality of Godhead. Therefore, Mother Yashoda is able to pick up a stick to beat up Krishna and to bind Krishna to a mortar. So Kunti Maharani is teaching us that relish, that remembrance of that pastime, but continue to stay in the Dasya Rasa, in the rasa of awe and reverence. Does that answer? All right. Question number 2. Does purification by going through suffering always mean advancement in bhakti? Purification by any means, whether by miseries or by doing more devotional services, means advancement in bhakti. Question number 3. What does it mean to have exclusive faith in Krishna? So I'll give some examples. We have discussed this many times, and this also described in Bhagavad Gita chapter 18 verse 66 purport, the Sharanagati verse, Rakshishyato Vishwato. So some examples of exclusive faith in Krishna means that you do not have faith in other processes. Prabhupada has explained this, that no faith in other process is actually faith in Krishna. Exclusive faith means surrendering to Krishna. Exclusive faith means I will only honor prasadam, only honor Krishna prasadam, because Krishna is the only Bhoktaram. There can be many other examples. I'm only giving few just to understand the point. Does that help?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Okay. Question number 4. In Srimad Bhagavatam 1.9.13, it has been mentioned that Kunti Devi continued to suffer because of her son's actions. Can you please help me in understanding this? If you read 1.9.13 purport, the next statement says, Kunti was destined to suffer by providence. So when Pandavas escaped the burning house and hid themselves for a little while, Kunti also went with the Pandavas and also suffered instead of living in palace. Right, so that's a one direct example that Kunti Maharani suffered. Yes, it was by providence, and you can say that the Pandavas whatever happened to Pandavas also happened to Kunti. The effect of that also happened to Kunti Maharani. Does that help? Shivanji?
Just to add on, I think there's free will that you mentioned. So some people want to suffer alone and some people want to do it together. I feel like in the karmic contract, like when you have like, okay, there is suffering. So some souls choose to suffer from the childhood and some souls choose to choose to suffer like after a certain point of time alone. So I think that is a decision that every soul has a free will to make, I
In
guess.
Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 3, in the Kapila Siksha section, Prabhupada explains that there is suffering while in the womb, there is suffering after birth, there is suffering when you are in youth, there is suffering when you become old. So it's not up to us to choose that I will not suffer now, I will suffer later. Suffering is there. And although we do have family support to a certain extent, still our suffering is still individual. Yes, family members will recognize certain level of pain and suffering, it still is individual. So if you read Canto 2, sorry, not Canto 2, but Bhagavad Gita chapter 2, should be around verse 17, plus minus one verse. In the purport, Prabhupada explains that we are conscious of the pain and pleasures of our own body. Yes, family members, you can explain and they can feel that you are having some pain, but still, our pain is our individual. We come alone in this world, we suffer alone in this world, and we will go back alone from this world. Yes, we do have family support. We are together with family for our joint karma. Still, we are individuals. Sure, Jim.
Okay, thank you, Prabhuji.
Follow me?
Prabhuji, one question, just follow-up question with like question query 3. Can you give some more examples on actions that we can do? Like one you mentioned is honoring only prasadam, that can help. Then
So we have heard this lecture from Chaitanya Chandas for Bhagavad Gita chapter 7 verse number 14, that what does surrender mean? And there are a lot of points he explains in that short lecture that we have heard. I will repeat some from my memory. That he says following instructions of Krishna is surrender. That Draupadi raising her hands is surrender. And Arjuna shooting arrows diligently and fiercely, that is surrender, meaning following instructions of Krishna is the surrender process. And one of the instruction is to take shelter of spiritual master. So what exactly is surrender? That or to have faith in Krishna Krishna explains this in Bhagavad Gita 18.66, where Bhaktivinoda Thakur has given the Sharanagati verse as the 6 processes of surrender. That accepting that which is favorable, anukuliyasya sankalpa, and rejecting that which is unfavorable, patikulyasya varjanam. So faith means, or surrender means, choosing actions that take us toward Krishna and rejecting the actions that take us away from Krishna. How we apply this will vary according to time, place, and circumstances. You cannot have a laundry list. You have to understand the principle. But I have given some examples that when we do our sadhana and services diligently, through our sadhana and services also, we are surrendering and showing our faith to Krishna. Right? If I don't have faith, why would I go and do services? So that's how you judge your level of faith. When we know certain situations in the material world are tempting for sense enjoyment, and if we are moving away from those tempting situations, that is also because we are surrendered to Krishna, and that is because we have faith in Krishna, in Krishna's instructions. That material world is a dukkha yoni. When we feel our senses are getting agitated and we reject that agitation with determination, that is also because we have faith in Krishna's instructions. That's how we are able to remember Krishna's instructions when the senses are agitated. So you have to apply according to time, place, and circumstances. I'm hoping some of these additional examples help for Polomi and others.
Yes, Prabhuji, thank you.
Prabhuji, Hare Krishna, I have one question. Just this is my personal thing. Sometimes it happens that when I am in distress, in the night while I was sleeping, while I am sleeping, the same problem is coming in my mind repeatedly. So at the time, I tried consciously to averse it by reminding Krishna and his pastimes. But it is not possible. How to control that situation?
Yeah. So every time you ask a question of how, I cannot frisk away your emotions, neither can you. It's a matter of practice. It's a matter of tolerance. That because you have strong emotions, that somebody has done something wrong to me, and because of bodily concept of life, is why we are not able to give up whatever somebody has done wrong to me. So one of the question coming up today very soon, there is a similar question a devotee has asked. And the answer we will be reading is Prabhupada has given 10.14.8. We'll soon be reading, and 4.8.34, how to be non-envious. So we are soon going to read. So Path Prabhu, hold on your thought for a few more minutes. It's an upcoming question where the circumstance is not described in detail, but it's largely similar to the circumstance that you just mentioned. So I briefly answered, but its detailed verses we'll soon read together with that, with the discussion of that question. Okay, Path Prabhu, is that okay?
Thank you, Mike. Thank you.
Kunal Prabhu.
So, Prabhuji, like when we talk about surrender, right, at least this happens to me, that whenever I say that, okay, I surrender this to Krishna, then the ego or the mind comes in and says, oh, you need to do something about this. Like, why are you sitting on it, like surrendering? So then how to overcome that
Yeah,
situation?
because you don't have conviction, right? This conviction point will come up in Bhagavatam Canto 2, that you don't have conviction, therefore your surrender is fragile, that your mind and the modes are overtaking you. If you have the conviction, well, then you will surrender to Krishna and to spiritual master, get initiated and do devotional services as much as is possible, right? So we need to build our conviction, right? And how do you build your conviction? By continuing Krishna conscious activities, more japa, more scriptural study, more devotional services with like-minded devotees. You build that faith, you build that conviction, and inquire, right? Inquire with spiritual masters that I'm having these hindrances. Can you please guide me? Therefore, I did recommend to many of you that many of you are comfortably stuck in your respective position. Consider to take a spiritual master, even if it is as Siksha Guru, means a bona fide spiritual master as Siksha Guru, so that he can guide you. He can bring you to the conviction level. Kunal?
Yes, Prabhuji, thank you. Hare Krishna.
Very good. Okay. Question number 5. In Bhagavad Gita, the Lord tells Arjuna to fight the war for him. However, in the material world and in the age of Kali, how do we understand which wars to fight? Meaning any situation of injustice and not an actual war should we fight, and which ones we should not? Must we learn to tolerate that all such injustice are part of our karma? Tolerate first. Do not find an excuse to exercise the use of anger, because anger is very detrimental. So Srila Prabhupada explains this in Canto 4, that anger is very detrimental. Multiple places in Canto 4, it's explained anger is very detrimental. We have also discussed this in Bhagavad Gita 16.21, that lust, anger, greed are royal road to hell. Simultaneously, in Srimad Bhagavatam 4.11.31, Srila Prabhupada says that although one should control anger, because anger is very detrimental, still in the common world, when there is mischief made by others, the devotee should not forget to become angry, at least for a little while, just to drive away the miscreants. So, first tolerate. First see the injustice as the other person being an instrument to manifest your own bad karma. But if the person is taking advantage of you, that you are not responding, that he knows that you are spiritual and you are trying to learn to tolerate, well, then you have to stop that person from taking advantage, just to drive away the miscreants. I'm pretty sure this question applies to all. Does that help? Silence. All right. Question number 6. What should be the learning or takeaway message for me as a neophyte when we read that great devotees and personalities like Bhishma Dev can also make mistakes and commit injustice? When you see your own mistakes, open Bhagavad Gita introduction, the paragraph starting with Vedic knowledge is not a question of research, where the 4 defects of conditioned soul are mentioned. That conditioned soul has tendency to cheat, is illusion, makes mistakes, and has imperfect senses. Meaning, use Shastra Chakshu for your benefit. So Krishna has used Bhishmadev, Pandavas, Draupadi, other pure devotees to teach lessons to rest of the world. So you cannot blindly take the actions of these personalities one way or the other. Right? They are meant for a particular learning part. Therefore, you cannot focus they are right or wrong. Therefore, I'm saying you cannot take them as one way or the other. Focus on own self. Apply scriptures on ourselves first. It's very easy to apply scriptures on others. No, apply scriptures on ourselves first. Then talk to others to apply. Does that help?
Hare Krishna, yes, Prabhuji.
Question 7. Is Kala or time the supreme controller in the material world? Are we controlled by time or by karma? Kala is the supreme controller in the material world. And as we read a few minutes ago from 1.13.46, we are under the stringent grip of guna, karma, and kala. Question number 8. Srimad Bhagavatam 1.9.18. There are unlimited numbers of Narayans who are all the same personality of Godhead and are considered to be plenary expansions of the original personality of Godhead, Lord Shri Krishna. Is this verse referring to all avatars or also others? Please explain. So there are infinite incarnations. We only know few such incarnations from Srimad Bhagavatam. In spiritual world, all such incarnations exist eternally. Therefore, Prabhupada is saying that there are infinite numbers of Narayan. We only know few of them. We don't know all of them. Bhagavatam is just headlines, not 100% activities of Krishna. Question number 9. 1.9.15 Bhagavatam says, how can there be reverses in the presence of King Yudhishthira? What does reverses mean? So reverses mean miseries. Bhishmadev is making us understand that everything in the material world happens because of time. Yudhishthira is Dharmaraj. He has not done anything wrong. Therefore, how can there be miseries or how can there be reverses? But the reverses happen because of time, because Krishna is using their pure devotees to remove the demoniac kings and get the devotees as kings for the welfare of all in the material world. And this point will come up in Bhagavatam Canto 1 towards the end. The analogy is given of using a thorn to remove a thorn. That Krishna is using his pure devotees to remove the demoniac thorns from the material world. Does that answer? All right. So last question in the sequence, and then I will open another document. So this is the question that I was requesting Path Prabhu to park his inquiry. And will get answered. If Path Prabhu's inquiry, Path, if doesn't get answered, then you can please inquire, follow up. Question 10 is, after understanding so many instructions, when miseries happen at the time, I only blame another person for it. And later, after so many days, I realize, oh, I should not have blamed others. Why is it so? Answer is because of my bodily concept of life. Now, all of you, let me know if this happens to you while you're doing japa. That normal day, you may or may not be thinking about the wrongs others have done to me. But as soon as you start doing japa, you start remembering and cursing the one who has done something wrong to you. Anybody? Does that happen to you?
Yes, Prabhu.
Yes,
Of course,
Prabhuji.
Prabhuji.
Only few brave souls. The reason is because of my bodily concept of life and because I am not able to forgive when someone has done something wrong to me. Therefore, I am blaming or cursing others. Japa is the cleansing process. Therefore, we remember the wrongs, meaning the dirt is coming out. So as purification keeps happening, the default first thought of blaming others will soon change to remembering Srimad Bhagavatam 10.14.8. We'll soon read, where Brahmaji is saying that I am getting this misery because of my past karma. Let me just tolerate. Plus, Srila Prabhupada has given 4.8.34 on how to be free from envy. That when I meet a person more qualified me, then I should rejoice and get guidance from him. When I meet equally qualified person, I should make friends with him. When I meet innocent neophyte, I should show compassion. So it is a matter of practice to change the default setting of blaming others. So next time you do japa, whatever thoughts come in, try to bring mind back to listening to japa. And all of you, although one devotee has asked this question and Path Prabhu had a similar inquiry, I'm pretty sure this applies to all, and many of you were brave enough to confess that yes, this is happening to me. So all of you, next time before you start doing japa, read 10.14.8 plus read 4.8.34 verse translations, as well as before going to bed, read these same verses so that we can attempt to change the default thought process. So let's read these verses. I will bring up 10.14.8 on the screen. Padma Kumar Prabhu, there's a very famous verse. Prabhupada has said this is how we should live in the material world. Padma Kumar Prabhu, translation from the screen.
My dear Lord, one who earnestly waits for you to bestow your costless mercy upon him, all the while patiently suffering the reactions of his past misdeeds and offering you respectful obeisances with his heart, words, and body, is surely eligible for liberation, for it was become his rightful claim.
Right? Tolerating the suffering, the reactions of his past misdeeds and continue to offer respects to Krishna. So you learn the tolerance. Brahmaji is speaking this verse. Brahmaji is the head of the Gaudiya Vaishnava, Brahma Gaudiya Madhava Sampradaya. He is giving us this instruction. So tolerate. Next verse we'll read is 4:8:34. Sumnima, 4:8:34. Translation.
Hare Krishna. Every man should act like this. When he meets a person more qualified than himself, he should be very pleased. When he meets someone less qualified than himself, he should be compassionate toward him. And when he meets someone equal to him, he should make friendship with him. In this way, one is never affected by the threefold miseries of this material world. Hare Krishna.
Does that answer the inquiry? Path Prabhu, does that help you?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, yes.
Rest of you?
Prabhuji, we have been conditioned in such a way that if we don't like, I do not know why, like if you are okay with whatever is like whatever you're doing, people say that you are a happy-go-lucky person. You are not endeavoring, and and I think that is how we have been trained, like to think like we have to be ahead of the competition, but in reality there is no competition, there is no rush, and whatever is destined will happen. Whatever we are supposed to, we will do.
Yeah.
But I don't know why.
You are correct that we are conditioned. So we have to change our conditioning, right? That's why we are here. So you have to change. Just as you get a cell phone with a default ringtone that you don't like, you don't do anything, the ringtone will keep ringing. So if you don't like the ringtone, then you have to do consciously something to change. So you know your conditioning now. Well, then endeavor to change your default conditioning. Shivanji.
Okay, thank you, Prabhuji.
Everybody on the same page? All right, I will open another slide for a few more inquiries. Again, the sequence will start from 1. Question number 1. I don't know about others, but I got a tinge of fear when I listened to the class recording about last moments of Bhishmadev and Srila Prabhupada leaving their material body. The same feeling I got when we were discussing Bhagavad Gita chapter 8. Can you please help me on how should I take this? The line with the Raga Bhaya Krodha comes twice in Bhagavad Gita. Bhagavad Gita 2.56 and Bhagavad Gita 4.10. Meaning these emotions such as fear are hindrances to taking shelter of Krishna. Fear is because of my bodily concept of life. Now, Sukadeva Goswami also states similarly to Parikshit Maharaj that if you have fear of your upcoming death in 7 days, then you are not at pure devotional level. Although via Parikshit Maharaj is a learning for we all as to what is the level of pure devotion. Parikshit Maharaj is already a pure devotee. So we have discussed in Bhagavad Gita chapter 1 that fearless means the awareness of Krishna who is above fear personified. And similar example is of Dhruv Maharaj, the another elevated pure devotee, is that when Dhruv Maharaj was about to go to spiritual world, death personified came in front of Dhruv Maharaj. And Dhruv Maharaj did not become scared. Rather, Dhruv Maharaj used death personified as a step to board the airplane, meaning Dhruv Maharaj used death personified also in service. And in that purport, Prabhupada gives the analogy of death of a devotee and death of materialistic people is not at the same level. And Prabhupada gives the analogy that a cat carries a mouse in the mouth. A rat. Cat carries a rat in the mouth. The rat is fearing death, while the same mother cat is carrying kitten also in the mouth. The kitten is very happy, very pleased. I am under the protection of my mother. So we do not have to artificially frisk off the fear. We have discussed that fearlessness comes from knowledge. So continue to gain knowledge, and little by little, based on level of purification, fear will start to subside little by little. Again, what I'm saying is, this is a gradual process, and the fear will subside little by little. Does not mean you switch on light, like how you switch on a light and the darkness is gone. Does not mean tomorrow you will become fearless. It's a gradual process. It's a process of purification. Does that answer the inquiry? Now, Sumnima's question is a very important question. So we have discussed how to use all our anarthas, all our senses in Krishna's service. Now, Sumnima's question in the chat is, what if the fear is, I have not done enough devotional services and lost the opportunity to go back home to Godhead? This is how you use fear in devotional service. We all should have this fear that if I don't do enough devotional service, I will not be able to go back to Godhead. I should have this fear. This is healthy fear. Sumnima?
Yes, Prabhuji, but what if this comes right before death?
So our goal is to remember Krishna throughout our life, do japa throughout our life, do devotional services throughout our life so that Krishna can remember us. Now, at the time of death, our goal is that we should aim to remember Krishna. Now, Sumnima's follow-up point that what if I think I didn't do enough? Now, this is the nature of a pure devotee. Now, Srila Prabhupada has done so much for all of us in setting up ISKCON, in translating books, in teaching us so many things. I can go on and on and on. That it's unfathomable, it's unimaginable. Still, towards the end of his life, Prabhupada had the thought process and said, oh, I didn't do enough. There are so many things I wanted to do. This is the nature of a pure devotee. That no matter they may be doing so much, but they are always having, oh, there is always so much more to do. Right? So it's a good fear to have. So focus on doing devotional services. Sumnima, focus on doing devotional services. You are anyway almost 24 hours engaged in remembering Krishna somehow or the other. Focus on doing devotional services. Yes, you should have this healthy fear that I should do more and more, even though I am doing 24 hours devotional services. And let Krishna take care of you. Sumnima?
Yes, I just got this realization that every time we think of art or anybody's death, if we just think of, we might feel at the last moment that we have not done enough, and then get more motivation or inspiration to do more starting today.
Yeah, so practice. So I've given this spiritual endeavor when we were discussing Bhagavad Gita chapter 8, that Practice, if we wake up every day, practice what are you remembering? Start practicing. We still have a lot of time left, at least for some of us. Some may have less time left than as compared to others. Doesn't matter. We don't know the time. Practice. What are you remembering? The first thing you wake up. Is it stock market? Is it your work? Is it your family? Is it your to-do list? Or is it Krishna? So change it to remembering Krishna. I've given you practical examples. Set up your wake up alarm to Bhagavad Gita verse. So even if you wake up in the middle of night, you can say, oh, it's still not spiritual master verse time to wake up. Let me go back to sleep. Oh, it's still not Bhoktaram Yajna verse. Let me go back to sleep. So everybody, practice.
Yes, very helpful, Prabhuji. Thank you.
Very good. Question number 2. I am curious to understand the rasa of Shant rasa or neutrality. What does this actually mean? Discussion is there in Bhagavatam 1.9.34. Now, although Shant rasa is one of the valid rasa, Chaitanya Charitamrita goes on to describe that for relationship, one has to be either in Dasya, Sakya, Vatsalya or Madhurya rasa and not in the Shant rasa. So devotees in these 4 rasas of Dasya, Sakya, Vatsalya, Madhurya are actively serving Krishna. Shant rasa example is stone in the spiritual world is also conscious, is in the Shant rasa. Only service the stone can do is when Krishna comes to take rest while herding the cows. So, yes, it's a valid rasa, but try to come to other rasa. Dasya is the easiest rasa to follow until your real rasa gets revealed from within. Does that answer? Question 3. Bhagavatam 1.9.39. The pastimes of the Lord all move one after another in all the universes. Is this only referring to the material world? Does this mean that these pastimes are repeating in other universes, although it took place some 5,000 years ago in our universe? So pastimes keep repeating. Other universes will have slightly different pastimes, although overall concept that Krishna is Supreme Personality of Godhead and devotional service is the easier process to go back home, back to Godhead is common across all universes. But pastimes keep repeating. Question number 4. Statement is, mind is best to offer to Krishna because we identify with our mind. So the question is, how we identify with our mind? Aren't we souls? Please clarify my thought. I'm confused. Very good. So I'll give you an analogy for this to understand that when person A's car is hit by person B's car, this person A will come out and tell this person B, why did you hit me? Are Baba, person B has not hit person A. It is person B's car that has hit person A's car. But person A is saying, why did you hit me? Because we identify with body and everything connected with body as mind, because I am this I, me, mind concept. Therefore, person A is saying to person B, why did you hit me? Yes, we all are souls. But right now, at least for me, there is no difference between my body, my mind, and my soul. All inside my body, all these, body, mind, and soul, they are riveted together. If you are soul, Well, then you should be doing devotional services 24 hours. So right now, this statement, I am soul, could be somewhat theoretical. Now, this is a very good starting point that at least you know I am a soul. It's a very good starting point that at least in theory, I know I am soul. I am not this body. And soon I should come to the point of doing devotional services 24 hours. Of course, for Bhishma Dev, from where the statement comes, for Bhishma Dev, he has his mind purified and he's lying on a bed of arrows and he's saying, my mind is purified, therefore I want to offer my mind to Krishna because he has come. So my Lord has come, I have to offer something. This is the only thing I have to offer to him. And he's using this so as to focus the mind on Krishna because he has no other desire to get something back. Does that answer? Question number 5. From Bhagavatam 1.9.36. It appears from the purport that Arjuna's intelligence was deliberately polluted by Krishna so that the message could be delivered to all. Does God manipulate events even today on earth? Not manipulate, but inspire. Yes. Everything is inspired and sanctioned by Krishna since time immemorial and will be the same eternally in future. I'll give you an example that when creation happens, we all souls were sleeping in Mahavishnu's womb. So Krishna gave the inspiration to all of us that wake up. You had so and so desire to fulfill. Wake up, material world creation has started. So wake up and go and fulfill your desires. So inspiration, not manipulate, but inspiration even today and forever comes from Krishna. Does that answer the inquiry? Last question for today. As laymen, why do we always misunderstand Krishna's Leela, such as his transcendental loving exchange with Bhishma Dev and Ras Leela? Purification and devotion is the criteria to understand Krishna's Leela. Krishna's Leela are to bewilder materialistic people that lifting Govardhan Hill cannot be true. That's what materialistic people will say. But devotees relish that only Krishna can lift Govardhan Hill. So, purification and devotion is the criteria to understand Krishna's Leela. Does that answer the inquiry? All right. So as I said at the start, couple of announcements that with help from Sumnima, as well as with help from Dayamai Radha and Surbi Matajis from Toronto Temple, we now have a YouTube channel for all these lectures. So I'm gonna give you a YouTube link for class recording number 28 of the previous batch on Canto 1, Chapter 10, verses 7 to 36 to listen to as the philosophical discussion in sequence. And if anybody wants the actual recording also, you can get it either from me or Sumnima. And the other point I mentioned that on February 28, here in Toronto, Scarborough, Markham and Shepherd intersection, there's a big preaching and Kirtan event planned just for the holy event, just 2 days before Gaur Purnima. So there's no pressure, but if you can donate, could help. I will send links and everything as they become available to me. And those of you who are locally can also come for your preaching endeavor. So I will share details as they become available to me. I also want to hear back from all of you that we have started this new process where you are listening to the recordings and coming here to the live virtual classes only for inquiries, because we discussed that inquiries is where majority of the learning happen. Is that working well for all of you? I want to hear from all of you.
Yes,
Yes,
Prabhuji.
Prabhuji.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Yes. Yes, Prabhuji, it's working for me as well.
Yes.
Yes, Prabhuji.
All right. So I gave you some guidance to follow. So continue to follow the various steps that I had asked you to do, so that you don't fall. Make corrections at small deviations, and we'll go from there. We are just about at 11 a.m. Toronto time. We'll stop here so that it doesn't become too much for you all to handle on inquiries. I will get all of us caught up very soon on some leftover. There are about some 20 or 25 inquiries left over, including the last submission. So we'll get caught over very, very soon. Hare Krishna, everybody.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Yeah,
Thank
thank you,
you.
Prabhuji.
And thank you, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Hare